Yeah.
So in other words, you didn't do your homework on that particular mover.
And I never did my homework. And I learned my lessons there.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
So what besides doing your homework, what could you have done differently? Is there a way to check his license or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I never asked him those questions that were really important before I, got into a contract with him to move my home. Normally, what we would have done is, before we would even meet him up, we would have, gone to his page to look at reviews on his page and to know how he does business with people and how people rate him.
All right, guys, this is Kelly from Hills Deals and Wheels Mobile Home Investing Course available on Vimeo. We got a special guest today. And guys, I just finished talking to him. We must have talked for about maybe 1 minute. And this guy, I knew he was doing deals, but I didn't know to what magnitude. He is killing it. Mr. Khalid, now I don't want to mess up the last name, Omodashu.
Motor show, yeah.
Omodashu. Okay, Khalid, thank you so much for coming on here. I greatly appreciate it.
You're
So,
welcome.
Khalid, introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, my name is Khalid Omotosho, and I'm a mobile home investor. Um, that's the most important. That's one of the major things I've been doing. Me and my wife for the past close to 2 years.
For two
Uh,
years.
yeah, close to 2 years.
Mm.
So majorly we're mobile home investors, and um, we're just here. Yeah.
Okay. And so, Khalid, what were you doing before you became a mobile home investor?
So I just came in. I came into the U.S. I migrated into the U.S. 3 years ago, and immediately I got into the U.S. 8 months after I got a job at in a hospital.
Okay.
I worked in the dining services, so I was just I worked in the dining services, and that was what I used to. That's what I do.
Right.
Um, prior to you know, yeah.
Okay. And so, Khalid, I actually reached out to you. I actually used a picture of yours before I even reached out to you about this interview. And it was concerned. It's not funny, but it was kind of comical because somebody actually, a mover, hitched your mobile home up to their truck and didn't come back.
Definitely, yeah.
And so, how did that work, Khalid? What was that all about?
Yeah, so we bought this mobile home from a seller that wanted to really get rid of his home. And he was moving another home onto the land, and so I bought it at a discounted price. It's a year 2000 home.
Hmm.
Um, I would bought it for $3,000, and came with HVAC. You know, it needed work, but I mean, and so we were going to have it moved. So I um, organized with this mover to have the home moved off the land.
Okay.
And then I just was on Google. I mean, I just Googled him and then found him out and then called him and we negotiated price. It was cheap, and so he said he was going to help me. So he he's been working on the home to have him moved. I never knew I was getting myself into a mess because this guy was um, it was just I've never worked with someone like this in the mobile home business. And so he hooked my home onto his truck and then, just vanished and
Wow.
then and left the home and the truck on the seller's land. And so the seller was calling me, like, this is what's happening. Like, what's the problem? Like, this home has to go, this truck. And I told him, I said that, I'm trying to reach him. This mover wouldn't pick my calls. He wouldn't um text me back or something. So I was confused. And you know, at last he came, he showed up, and then he just moved the that was the worst move. I've been moving homes for a while, so but that was the worst move of the mobile home investing that I've been doing. So I mean, he moved it at last. That's the most important thing, so um
So
that
how long did he take to move it, Khalid?
it took him maybe close to 2 weeks
Two
before.
weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have my suspicions of what was going on with that, and I had shared it with my students. So my suspicion is that this man had several trucks. He had several deals. He hooked up your mobile home to his truck because he wanted to keep your money, and then he went and did his other deals, and then came back to you later. Am I wrong or?
I think what happened is that I think he has alcohol problem.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was the seller called me to tell me he saw a lot of alcohol bottles on his land, so I'm sure he was drinking on the job.
Okay.
And then I was like, wait, like I never even made any research about this guy before I gave him my house to move. So I went online to look at the reviews on his um on his page, and then I saw where people were really complaining about him being unprofessional and stuff like. I was like, man, I've made a
Yeah.
mistake, man. Like this is a mess. So I think he really has some personal issues he was dealing with, and nobody would work with him because it was a mess. And then my wife, found out that he had some background. Had some background, right from the onset and stuff like that. So it was just a mess.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So in other words, you didn't do your homework on that particular mover.
And I never did my homework. And I learned my lessons there. Yeah.
So what besides doing your homework, what could you have done differently? Is there a way to check his license or?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I never asked him those questions that were really important before I, got into a contract with him to move my home. Normally, what we would have done is, before we would even meet him up, we would have, gone to his page to look at reviews on his page and to know how he does business with people and how people rate him, and then we can now schedule an appointment to meet him and to know if he was actually licensed and stuff like that. But I never did any of that. I was just in a hurry to have that home moved because the seller kept pressuring me, and I just needed anybody to help me move the home of the land. So I never did my research on that. I should have. I never did.
So Khalid, so how do you go, because you say you mainly do business in North Carolina?
Yeah.
How would you go about finding if he has a license? Because here in the state of Texas, we're able to look that up online. Is there a way that you can tell?
I think what we would have done is maybe call the city up, just to follow up um, um, with if he actually had a license or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just to call the city up, and that's it, or the county, just
Okay.
to make a follow up on him to see if he actually has a license.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even go forward if I had checked the review on his page. I wouldn't go forward with him, but I didn't do that, and I was just in a hurry to. And in the mobile home business, you don't just do things in a hurry. You have to follow due process. We
Yeah.
never did that, and so he really beat us in the behind, and so um, but that's it.
Wow.
Hmm.
So Khalid, so you saying on his page he had bad reviews? What page are you referring to? He was on Yelp or Facebook or what was he on?
On his Google, so when you Google mobile home movers in North Carolina, it brings out this long list of movers here in North Carolina, and then you can just click on it and see people's comments about him and how he's been helpful, how they've been helpful to them in the past, and what they did well and what they didn't do well. And it's up to you to you know make up your mind decision wise to know if you want to go on with this person or not.
Right.
Yeah, so it was on Google. I just Googled him, and then that was where I found out that it was. I started reading people's reviews about him, and we found out that it was just he had some personal issues. So it's not just me. He had done it to a lot of people in the past.
Wow. And so, Khalid, I have never moved a mobile home. So, what paperwork do you need in order to move a mobile home?
So you would have to get a permit from the city, a permit for them, and then you have to make sure the taxes are up to date
Hmm.
um, before that home can be moved. And then if the mover doesn't have a permit, that's no problem. But it can still be moved. It's just that during the inspection of the home, um, they will ask for the permit. Like, did your mover pull up a permit before he moved the home? So, all these kind of things are what um, would be required of you while moving a home.
Okay, and so the home has to be inspected before it's moved. Is that what you're saying, or?
No, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be expected. Just a permit by the mover has to pull up something just to show that he is licensed to move the home.
I
Uh,
got you.
yeah, he has to be licensed to move the home, so he has to pull up a permit to move the home. And if just to make sure that they set up the home um correctly where it's being moved to, you know,
I got you. I
yeah.
got you. And so, what about the age of a mobile home? Is there a mobile home too old to move?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Here in North Carolina, I don't know of other states, but here in North Carolina, I think it's 1976. A
Okay.
1976 home can't be moved. I mean, you can move it, but it's not just going to pass inspection. Um, so uh, something like that. Age, really.
Okay. Okay, and so the mover breaks the because aren't there different types of move? And I'm sorry, Khalid, I know nothing about
Oh,
moving. So
no problem.
aren't there like different types of moves? Like, okay, because you want a mover who's going to break the mobile home down and then set it back up, right? Or
Oh,
you, or you could just get a move where they just gonna break it down and take it to its destination and just drop it off, right?
yeah. That I mean, they can do either of those. They can break it down. They can and also move it. But it's kind of cost effective if they don't have to break it down. They just pick it up and then move it.
Okay.
Then that's going to bring down the price. But if they have to, break it down and then put on the tongues to the home, that's the V-shape tongue.
Right.
Then every of those additional distance, put on the axles and the wheels, stuff like that. Then the price keeps going up. Each thing you do to the home, takes the price up.
Okay.
So yeah, so that breaking it down, um, you know, and then that's and moving it to where it's going to, they can do it.
Mm.
That's part of what they're employed, trained to do.
Right. So the more they do, the more it's going to cost, of course, right?
Maybe so.
So in the tongue, that's able to be welded back on because
Mhm.
normally what they do, they cut the tongue off and shove it underneath the home.
Yeah,
But when it's time to move it, they take the tongue out and then weld it back onto the front of the home to pull it.
yeah,
So
definitely.
can you give us like a dollar amount, how much to weld something like that back on, or do you know?
So I think it's like $500 for a home that doesn't even have a tongue. For
Okay.
them to go bring a tongue to the home and weld it back, that they charge you at around $500 for that.
Okay. And the wheels and axles, do they prefer to bring their own? Because, I heard they don't want to be riding down the street and then they get a flat tire by
Yeah.
using your stuff. So they prefer to use their own, correct?
Uh, yeah, yeah. It depends on if my home is even good. Even if it's in a good shape, then
Mhm.
they would use my own. But if it's not, and then they'll just go bring their own wherever they bring it from. But um that's how they do it.
Okay. And does all this let's just say you hire a mover, do
Mhm.
they come out the day they're supposed to move the home and check all this stuff out, or they just bring a tongue, or are they asking you these questions?
Yeah, they ask you all these questions and then they go out there a day before depends on their schedule. They go there and then they prep the home. Some people go there the same day, prep the home, and then move it that same day. But some of them go a day before, prep it up, stay there, and then move it maybe the next day. So it really depends on the mover
Right.
that moves the home. Yeah, depends
Mhm.
on.
And so, Khalid, when you're wholesaling these mobile homes, do you make sure that you have the mover all set up? They're gonna break it down and set for the other buyer, or do you just wholesale a mobile home and be like, "Nah, that's on you"?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
So, in this business, we're in the business of helping people, service to people. So I just make it so easy on my buyer and on the seller. So each home I bring out, each home I wholesale, I make sure my buyer is on, I mean, my mover is on standby. And so that makes it a bit easier on the buyer and, just to help them out
Mhm.
to have them, because not everybody knows how to, look for movers. It's movers is one of the most, um, moving a home is one of the most hardest, this thing in the mobile home sector. And in fact, that say if you're new to mobile home investing, do not move a home, because that's how difficult it is to have a home moved.
Mhm.
But I've been doing this close to 2 years now, and so I'm a bit experienced in having my mover on standby, and
Mhm.
then as soon as the home is everybody agrees on price and everything, and the home is sold, my mover comes in to have the home moved for the buyer, and that's the price is going to be on the buyer, not on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, well, you said a pre-hub mobile home, you can move it, but they really don't like to move it. But what happens if the mover is like, okay, we'll move this mobile home, even though it's pre-HUD, it was built before 1976. 9 times out of 10, all you're gonna have is a bill of sales. Is the mover gonna be okay with just a bill of sales?
Oh, definitely. We've moved the home personally that we sold on seller finance. Um, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Uh huh.
Okay, because I have a call now, and I was
Mm-hmm.
wondering if it was
Mm-hmm.
disturbing the. But we moved the home without a bill of sale before. Yeah, it's possible, really possible.
Right.
Most movers here won't ask you if it has a bill of sale or not. All they're
No,
concerned
no,
about.
I'm saying the title. I'm
Oh,
saying
if he has a title or not. Most movers aren't really bothered about it. What they're really concerned about is the structure of the home. If the home can withstand the move from point A to point B. So if the home is can withstand the move, and everything is fine, that they move it. They don't care about the title here. I mean, at least with the movers I've worked with, they just pick up the home and move it.
okay, so Khalid, let me pick your brain. So you're able to create a bill of sales on a regular website. So you present a bill of sales to a mover and he's moving the mobile home. And what's to
Mhm.
say you don't have the title? What's to say you don't own that mobile home? What's to say you didn't create that bill of sales on your own? So he just goes and moves a home like that.
Say that again.
So I'm saying a bill of sales, you can create that online.
Mhm.
So let's
Yeah.
just say I hire a mover, I got a bill of sales, I don't have the title. So now he has moved a home off of a piece of paper I created online, and he's okay with that.
Um, yeah, it's just, a mover already moved the home for me before, and I never saw the mover face to face.
Uh-huh.
I just called him on phone, and then we were just starting out our mobile home investing, and then we called him on phone, and then he just went there, checked out the home, moved the home. Up until today, I've never seen this mover face to face, and then
Wow.
I paid him online, like wired his money to him.
Wow.
Um, so we didn't even see face to face. I didn't know the home just moved from where I bought it from to where it was going to. So so I really didn't know what he did there, but
Wow.
he just moved the home. So
Wow. But I'm saying, Khalid, that might be able to work if it's on land because you could just throw out a bill of sales. But if it's in a park, you have to show that you're the rightful owner to move that mobile home.
oh, definitely, definitely, you're right. You're
Okay.
right.
Okay. Now we're on the same page. So if it's on land, you could do a bill of sales all day. But if it's in a park, you have to show that you are the rightful owner to move that. Because if you move it and it's not yours, then you're wasting
Yeah,
your money. Yeah, you're gonna get in big trouble doing something like that.
yeah, definitely. You're right. I absolutely agree. And we've done. I mean, that was when we were starting out
Uh,
the business, and I really was like, oh, what if this seller doesn't even own this home, and then they want to sell someone else's home to us? Like, I
yeah.
shouldn't do that. You know,
Yeah.
we just learn every day in this business. I mean, and the only way you can learn is to just make those mistakes. I mean,
Right, right, right.
so if you don't do it, you're never going to learn. So I keep learning every time I make do a deal and stuff like that. So yeah.
Wow, wow. So Khalid, I am so impressed by you. So tell everybody how many deals you got under your belt so far after you said 2 years or 3 years you've been doing this.
No, that was it's less than 2 years. I think a year and maybe 8 or 9 months. We've done like 28, 29 deals.
28, 29 deals.
Yeah.
And not are any of those buy and hold? Are you wholesaling or what strategy are you using?
We some we hold. We are holding around 8 of them now. Others we just wholesale.
Are you
Especially,
are you owner financing or are you renting?
yeah. Well, so when we started this business, we never knew anything about owner financing. So
Uh,
we just wanted the stream of income to come in. So that passive income. So I never knew anything about owner financing. So I just put everything out for rent.
wow.
Um, yeah, and so and then afterwards, when I started learning the business, every other home we decided to hold, we put them on seller financing, and I
Wow.
I really prefer seller financing to renting. I mean,
And,
renting
and
you
explain that. Explain that. Why is that? Because I'm totally the reverse. I prefer renting over owner financing. So explain why you prefer the other way.
because I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to be called to fix anything. So last week, one of our tenants called us, and this was one of our first tenants. We rented our home to him, and called us to say the water heater was leaking. I am the one responsible for that, and that's eating into my profit. So we were responsible for fixing it. We had to fix some other things in the house compared to homes where we sold on payments.
Mm,
After we've you know while we're at the table trying to sign contracts, we would ask our tenant buyer to go through the house or bring an inspector to the house just to make sure everything is okay. And after signing that contract, everything is on them. Like you can't come back to me to say you need something fixed in your house.
right.
I'm not responsible because I sold this home to you on payment, and I'm just like a bank. And if a bank is financing your single family home, you can't call them to tell them, hey, something broke in my house. Can you come fix it up? So I'd rather just be like a bank and just sell my homes instead of being a a landlord. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Khalid, out of all the mobile homes that you have, and you don't have to answer if you don't want, about how much per month would you say that you're cash flowing?
Um, the ones we have on payment.
Yeah. Any payments you got coming in, how much would you say? Just give us a ballpark figure.
So each of them an average of $300. So on um
Uh,
6 of them, we're going to add two more to them in within December or January. So
uh,
we're going around 2,500 on each of them. Yeah.
okay.
So
Okay. And roughly, what would the lot rent be for something like that?
$300. three
Three
hundred
hundred
dollars.
lot
Yeah.
rent. Okay.
300. Some
Okay.
parks are charging us $315. So I mean, it depends on the park. And some parks are charging us $220.
Mm,
So yeah.
right. And so Khalid, you're creating these notes for owner financing or seller financing.
Yeah.
So how do you go about doing that? Do you get an attorney or you use a mortgage loan originator? How are you going about doing that?
I just make my notes and then sell to the tenant buyer. I know um, the professionals in the mobile home investing um, field will tell me to use an MLO, that's a mortgage loan originator. But and that's another thing I want to inculcate into my business, like because I know that's the right thing to do legally. But we've not done that on all our deals.
I've
We've
never I've never done it either, Khalid.
Yeah, we've not done that.
I'm not gonna waste my money with that. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that.
It,
So I'm
I,
right up there with you.
I think it's just I just want to go to bed knowing I'm doing the right thing. You
Yeah,
know, if I don't know, yes, I don't know that. But if I know I'm supposed to do something, I'm just go do it.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, long as you charging them the correct amount of interest, you're not overcharging them. I don't see the big
yeah,
deal.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, so Khalid, do you have a license to buy and sell mobile homes?
I mean, we're working on our license right now to be a licensed dealership here in North Carolina. So
Mm-hmm.
we're working on it right now. We just made our payment. We just got approved for the insurance bond last month. But I mean, we've been busy with other deals, and so before January, we should be licensed to
Mm-hmm.
um, legally sell more than 3 mobile homes here in North Carolina in a
Oh,
calendar year.
okay.
Yeah,
And so, Khalid, you have done more than three, though. However, correct. So,
definitely.
how are you getting around that? You putting in somebody else's name, or what? What do you do?
So what I do is we put it in. So when we wholesale, we either wholesale through the seller. So the seller, our names don't come on
Right.
the title, and we just make sure we stay in the. I mean, it's hard to do because the seller doesn't want to work with you. So it means you either buy the home from him and then sell it. So what we do, I mean, it's kind of this thing, but most times we just wholesale between the buyer and the seller, and that way our name doesn't come into
Right.
um the contract. I mean the title, just the contract. We just
Right.
like sell the contract to a buyer.
To the buyer. Right. Right. And that's what people don't understand, Khalid. You don't have to put these mobile homes in your name. When you wholesaling it, you don't your name doesn't I mean it goes on a little paperwork between the seller and between the buyer, but it doesn't go to the state.
Yeah.
Nobody's tracking that. Man,
No,
excuse me. Nobody's tracking that. You
nobody's.
know. So anyway, yeah, I'm glad you broke that down.
Yeah.
So Khalid, are your mobile homes mainly on land or are they in a park?
Most of them are in parks. All of them are in parks. The one we are holding on to are in parks.
Oh, okay. All right. And so, what is your criteria? Would you ever buy a one bedroom, one bath, or what's your criteria? What's your ideal mobile home to buy?
A 3 bed, 2 bath. I'll deal with a 2 bed, 2 bath too. A 2 bed, 1 bath. I usually just sell those for cash. I prefer dealing with 2 bed, 2 baths, 3 bed, 2 baths. Yeah,
Okay, all right. And then
yeah.
and then when you got started, Khalid, you said you really didn't take anybody's course or anything, but you said when you got started, um, you weren't moving mobile homes right out of the gate, right?
Oh yeah.
Right out the gate, you moved mobile homes, or did you do a couple of deals then you moved the mobile home?
We did like 2 deals and then we moved to the next one, the third one.
Right, right. But you said you wouldn't recommend doing anything like that, huh?
No, no, don't. If you are a newbie, don't do it because it's gonna scare you away from mobile home investing, and it's one of the funnest thing. Like it's fun to do mobile home investing because fun in the sense that you're going to be helping a lot of families and you're going to be also helping your family in the long run financially. But moving a mobile home, it's kind of stressful because you're chasing after movers, you're chasing after electricians, you're chasing after, and they have to be licensed. So you're not just dealing with people that aren't licensed; they have to be licensed. You're
Mm,
chasing after plumbers. It's just a lot of stress, and then the city you have to consider them is
mm,
it's just not. So I'd
mm,
say just stick with homes that are not don't have to be moved unless you're wholesaling them. If you're wholesaling them, then you can have them moved for the buyer. Or,
mm.
it doesn't have to be on you. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And so, Khalid, how are you going about finding these mobile homes? Because you've done a lot of deals in this short period of time. How do you go about finding these mobile homes?
So I just put myself out there. I put myself out there. I try to network with a lot of park owners. I try to network with a lot of sellers, mobile home dealerships. Very important.
Mm-hmm.
Partnership with them, and they're gonna call you, give you deals. So what I do is I just call up dealerships and let them know, like, hey, like I buy used mobile homes, and I know a lot of people call you guys, just to get rid of their used mobile home in order to buy the new ones from you guys. And so I would come in to buy the used home from them, move it off their land, and then you can bring your new home into their land. And that way I'm helping you guys just to facilitate your transaction with your buyer or your customer, and then that I'm getting that home off the way for you guys. So that's what I do. And then I deal with a lot of parks here in North Carolina, even in Virginia. I deal with them. So all these homes, we move them to those parks to fill up their empty parts. So so I deal with park owners, I deal with dealerships, I deal with sellers, put out my bandit signs, put out my virtual bandit signs, all those ways just to make sure the deals keep coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we do.
And so, Khalid, you mentioned virtual with bandit signs. So, basically, what does that entail? Just creating We Buy Mobile Homes on Facebook
Yeah,
and call it
we
a
buy
day. So,
mobile.
that's what a
Yeah,
virtual bandit
yeah,
sign is all about. So,
yeah.
Khalid, these conversations you have with the dealers and these other parks managers and stuff, do you think that would be best done in person, or you prefer telephone? Because I prefer it to be done in person so they know who they're going to be dealing with.
Yeah, we first kick out on through text or through phone calls, and then we set out a time to meet.
So you
And
do you do meet them. It's not like this is blind. You do
yeah,
meet.
definitely we meet. Eventually we will meet, and then we just try to learn, where we could be of help to each other. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now, would you say your worst experience in the mobile home business was when this guy hitched your your deal? He hitched your mobile home up and left it there for 2 weeks. Would that be your worst story as far as being in the mobile home business?
We've been through a lot, man. It's
Mm,
it's every deal is not a cookie cutter. Like, has
mm,
um scenarios to them. I've had
mm.
my handyman racially abused me before when I gave my one of my deals to him to help me work on it. So it's that too, that was the last Father's Day, so it's just a so
So,
all
what did he do, Khalid? If you don't mind me asking, what did he do?
so I gave him one of my houses to do, like, to fix, and then and then it was all nice. He has worked for me on one of my home before, um so all nice the first time. So the second time, same thing, nice. And and so I gave him the job, and then because he has worked with me for the first time, I paid him without even looking at the job the second time because I believed him, I trusted him. So when I went to the job the second time to check out what he did, I discovered that he didn't really do the job well. So I kept texting him like, "Hey, would you come out here to, correct what you did to this home? Like, it's not what I want." You know, I kept, and he wouldn't pick my calls. And the next time he was going to respond to my text, you know, he called me, you know, a monkey. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, like, would I stop texting him and stuff like that? So I mean, it was, but
Wow.
yeah. So
Mm,
each deals, so many things have happened in the mobile
wow.
home in world to me, and I mean, it's just something that comes with you dealing with people. So it's
Right. And
yeah.
you know what? And you know what, Khalid? I actually showed a screenshot where this lady was having other people. Well, it was a screenshot of my mobile home, and she was saying it was her home and to contact her phone number. That's what she did. I posted that on Facebook, and that's another reason why I reached out to you, because I'm like, some of these investors, they're not using their brain cells all the way. And so anyway, I posted that, and I was like, the nerve of this lady to pretend like she's me, and I'm the owner, and she's having people contact her using that phone number. Well, underneath that post, this young lady said something very derogatory about Africans, like that's the African way.
Yeah,
And I like, are you kidding me?
yeah,
For
yeah,
you to even if you think something like that, why would you even verbalize that?
yeah.
So
Uh,
I don't even want to fool with her. I don't want to do any business with her. And then after that, you liked the comment that I said to her, and that's how But I had already seen your mobile home, how it was attached to this
yeah,
truck. But
yeah,
God, I mean, I'm not no spokesperson for nobody, but I mean that lady is, who would want to do business with somebody like that, making comments like that? You just don't do that.
yeah,
That's
definitely.
not prepared. Keep your private, your thoughts to yourself.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah, so
me. So
definitely.
anyway, so Khalid, I have like students that are like, oh, I'm gonna quit my job and all this kind of stuff. Does the park require you to be park approved?
Oh yeah, yeah. You have to go through a background check.
Okay.
For them to work with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what about your credit?
Um. I mean, parks. That's one of the things parks run when they're going through your background check. So yeah. Um. Your
Oh,
credit has to be. But I've never had problems with my credit. My credit is not that high. But
uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay. And then what type of parks are you investing in? Would it be a 5-star park or 3-star?
Most of them are like 3 to 4 star parks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the cost of living must be very low there in North Carolina, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is.
Your lot
Except
rent is cheap.
mhm. Except in bigger cities where they pay $500 or so. But
Wow.
here in North Carolina, our lot rents are around $200 to $300. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so, Khalid, are you still working, or how's
I
that?
I quit my job last 3 weeks.
Okay.
I yeah, I quit my job, went full time into mobile home investing, and because for the past 4 or 5 months we've been making sales and making like $10,000 profit back to back to back for the past 4 months now. So
Wow.
uh,
Wow.
I just
Wow.
felt like I think I'm ready to leave this job and focus on investing full time in mobile because all those deals we did, it was part. I was doing part mobile home investing part time. So I have a full time job and then come back home to do mobile
Right.
home time. Yeah.
So does that include your wife too? She no longer works, or
Oh, she still works.
she
She
still
still.
works? So you have some kind of proof of income to show the
Uh,
part.
oh, definitely. We have the
Yeah.
proof of income to show the park. It it's been just one park that has asked us for proof of income before. Other parks will just sell you their home and then
Right.
just we already have the agreement to have the home fixed within a specific time. And then I
Okay.
try as much as possible to keep by my word because I know these are people that are giving me an opportunity to come into their property. And so I don't want to mess it up, that opportunity. So I try as much as possible um, to stand by everything I say I was gonna do.
Right.
Um, yeah. So yeah.
Right. So, Khalid, the reason why I'm bringing this up, not to get into your personal business, I have a lot of students say, "Hey, I'm going to quit my job," and I'm thinking, "Okay, you're going to quit your job, but how are you going to show proof of income to the park if you quit your job?" And I'm telling them, people who say they quit their job, they might quit their job like you quit your job, but your wife still works, and you're able to show proof of income from your wife. Because
Yeah,
you have to show that, because I'm sure you guys live in a house or an apartment, whatever the case may be. You have to show that you can afford that house or an apartment, and you can afford that lot rent too. You have to show
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
definitely,
yeah. So
definitely.
Khalid, do you have any words of wisdom for somebody trying to get into this business?
Yeah, you would get a lot of no's. That's a given. You'd get a lot of no's. But don't stop. Just keep going, man. It
Mhm.
was, if I can do it, then you can do it. I just came into America 3 years ago. So, and the accent was a really big thing for me. And
Okay.
but this year we are. I'm still pushing every day. We closed the deal 3 days ago, a day before Thanksgiving. Just made a quick $3,000. So so in a day, that was a day. So if I can do it, you can do it. Don't stop. Don't let anything that happened to you or anything any park owner or park manager says to you stop you. Just keep going. If a park says no to you, move on to the next and move
Wow.
on to the next and keep going. Never stop. Just keep never stop. The only time you quit, you just I mean the only time you stop is if you quit.
Hmm.
But don't stop. Just keep going.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's definitely money to be made here.
There
So,
is.
so yeah, and you're living proof of that. So,
Yeah.
Khalid, where do you see yourself 5 years from now in the mobile home business?
Um I will plan on owning a park for a start.
Okay.
Um yeah, owning a park, that's something I see myself me and my wife doing in future. And
Okay.
America has a lot of housing issues, and
Hmm.
we're trying in our own capacity to solve those issues in the little way we can. And so we're not only going to focus on just mobile homes, we're also going to focus on other affordable kind of living. Could be single family homes, but mobile homes is one of the cheapest means of letting someone have something for themselves. So we're going to go into mobile home park investing. So that too. Yeah.
Okay. And so, Khalid, would you be open to, anybody like a joint venture or anything like that? Would you be open to that if somebody were to contact you?
Oh, definitely, definitely. We did a deal last month or early this month. I think it was early this month or last month, late last month, and it was one of the investors in the mobile home investing full time. So I had this deal, and then he sent a buyer to me. He just messaged me, and I had the deal sitting down there. I didn't have any buyer to buy the deal from me, and he sent someone to me. And so the person bought the deal, and I just cash out his own share of the profit to him, and so I'm open to working with a lot of investors. It just makes it easy, and then building relationship is very key in this business. So
Mm,
um, so yes, definitely we're open to working with people.
okay. And
Yeah,
so, Khalid, how would somebody reach out to you? You have a contact number or a website or
yeah.
email or
So
something?
yeah, contact my contact number is 336 675 1183. Again, 336 675 1183. Um, yeah.
All right. And so, is that just restricted to North Carolina and Virginia, or are you willing to branch out anywhere?
Right now it's just Virginia and North Carolina. I
Okay.
mean, maybe in future we're gonna branch out to. I'm trying to acquire the skills to be able to do deals virtually. without me being there. But right now it's just limited to Virginia and North Carolina. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Khalid. I greatly appreciate you coming on here. I really do. I thank you. And I mean, you really killing the game out there. You
Thank you.
really are. And I wish you continued success, you and your wife. I wish I would have known you were in business with your wife. I would have had your wife come on here too. That would have been very interesting. But I greatly appreciate you coming on here and sharing your knowledge. Thank you so much.